SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Second Amendment Outdoors in Corinth, America's largest online firearms and accessory mall, has the best deals for you to stay loaded and ready, as well as covered head to toe in all the best brands. Whatever the season, whatever your game, our focus is all in the name. SecondAmendmentOutdoors.com, where freedom meets the field.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in on this Thursday night post-game edition. Ole Miss falls in a heartbreaker, instant classic, back-to-back instant classic games with Ole Miss. Came out on the winning end in the Sugar Bowl, did not do so tonight. 31-27, the final score. Miami, a winner over Ole Miss. The magical run comes to an end. I'm so glad that you guys are here, and please don't forget to subscribe. My name is Michael Borky. This is the Rebel Report postgame show. Don't forget to subscribe on your podcast app. If you're right here on YouTube, on your podcast app, you got to subscribe to this thing. Search Rebel Report, subscribe, and I would really appreciate that. And, of course, right here on YouTube, like, comment, all that good stuff. Before we dive into anything else, I want to tell you about our new partner here on the podcast, Logan Smith at Shelter Insurance. Logan Smith, Shelter Insurance, home, auto, life, and business. He can take care of you anywhere in Mississippi. Home, auto, life, and business insurance. 601-823-3500. 601-823-3500. Call him. Get a quote from him. 601-823-3500. Most importantly, tell him that it was me that sent you. Logan Smith, Shelter Insurance, home, auto, and business. So, let's start big picture, and then we'll get into the game. Ole Miss falling just short, had a ball into the end zone to win a semifinal game. Getting to this point after going through what that team has gone through is one hell of a result. It's a great season. It's a great team. It's one that should be remembered forever, getting to this point for the first time in the history of Ole Miss football. Now that, the playoff has only been around since 2014, right? So this is they haven't been able to make the quote-unquote Final Four for all that long, but still, this is a one-of-one type team, and they navigated some incredible adversity that they were put through by their own former head coach, and to sit back and to watch and witness somebody conduct themselves in the pathetic manner in which Lane Kiffin conducted himself to get to this point is incredibly impressive. It was a very resilient football team, a lot of likable players on that team, navigated the mess beautifully, and came up just short in this semifinal. It's been a really fun season. It's a really fun team, incredible stories, Trinidad being, the most interesting of them all. But, this team, in the adversity they faced, they had a player get killed right before the season began, and then their starting quarterback gets hurt, and then they lose their first game, and then they have all the in-game adversity after that they were able to overcome. Forgive me. And then the Kiffin BS and him pulling all of the crap that he did and navigating that, and then making this run in the playoff to a really tough, resilient, mentally tough football team. A lot of high-character guys on that field for Ole Miss tonight, and just a really impressive season. A team that you really should be very, very proud of, without any reservations, without anything other. The feeling, I shouldn't tell people how to feel. I don't. That's not my role, is to tell you how to feel. But I do think that immense pride should be the overwhelming feeling among the fan base about this team, because they deserve that kind of response. So they came up short, really impressive run nonetheless. But box score, 31-27. We'll get to your comments here in just a second. The story of the game is third down defense for Ole Miss. Physicality also, but third down defense. Miami was 11 of 19 on third down. 11 of 19 on third down and 2 of 2 on fourth down. So they were 13 of 21 on third and fourth down in the game. That was the killer for Ole Miss in this one. And for reference, Ole Miss was 2 of 10 on third down. They did not go for a fourth down in the game. Trinidad Chambliss got off to a rocky start, but he was really awesome late. 23 of 37, 277 and a touchdown. Kewan Lacey ran for 103 yards, but obviously Ole Miss could not do the same things that they wanted to do offensively because of Kewan's hamstring going out on him on that long touchdown run, and it cost them ultimately. I think if Kewan's healthy, they approach that game differently. But he had 103 yards on those 11 carries and the touchdown. Dejon Stribling had 77 on 5 catches. Caden Lee had 67 on 5. Daquan Wright had the big touchdown there late, 64 on 3. Trey Wallace had 40 on 4. On the flip side, though, Carson Beck was good today, especially late, 268 on 23 of 37, 2 touchdowns and the pick. But Miami they ended up only running for 3.7 yards per carry in the game. Truly dominated the first half. Ole Miss was able to slow some things down in the run game in the second half, but truly just struggled in the back end. Third down defense was a problem. I think what got to Ole Miss tonight was the early lack of physicality, the inability to control the line of scrimmage, and they don't have enough guys. That's the thing that stood out to me the most is they can't really rotate a lot of guys on the defensive line in a game like that. And you had a pretty gassed defensive front. And then if they want to win a game, if they want to win a national championship, they've got to get better in the secondary. And you're seeing what they're doing in the portal. They're addressing these very problems in the portal for next year. They're adding defensive line. They've already worked on a ton of player retention as it is. But they're still adding on the defensive line. They're still adding in the secondary for this reason. They were able to get picked on in the back end of the defense, and that was a problem. And I don't think they just had enough bodies, playable bodies, on the defensive line. Also, they need more in the rotation. I think those guys physically weren't. They were overmatched anyway in the game early, and they couldn't generate pass rush on their own. And then there was a couple of there's a couple of guys in the secondary that are not good enough to win a championship. Right, good enough to get to this point, good enough to have the game down to a 4-point game with the ball in the end zone. But third down defense was a product of poor tackling, and it was a product of not having the highest end secondary guys in a couple of spots that they need if they were to win a game like that. So I think that a lot of things can be true at once in there. And third down defense, in part, I thought they got a little too conservative on the third and longs. And maybe it's just simply a product of they didn't believe that they could cover one-on-one. And frankly, that'd be a pretty good bet. So maybe they wanted to try to just go the route of make them try to drive the field and hold them to field goals and force turnovers and things like that. But again, if they're 11 of 19 on third down, you have got to make some adjustments or something. And maybe they simply personnel-wise could not. But Miami was the more physical football team than Ole Miss tonight, and just made one or two more plays than Ole Miss was able to. So we'll get to your comments here in just a second, because that's what I want this to be. I want this to be, of course, you guys driving the conversation. We'll do that after I tell you about Priority One Bank. They make you their priority every day. Priority One Bank, they have a great online banking platform. They have 16 locations here in Mississippi, so there's likely to be one in your backyard, local loan servicing and decision-making, and more. They make you their priority. That's what they do. It's in the name at Priority One Bank. That's where I bank as well. So bank with me at Priority One Bank. First comment is defense with a face palm. Just not good enough tonight. And the thing is, they did such a good job of forcing third and long, and they could not get off the field on third and long. I would love to know. I don't have it in front of me here. I would love to know the the length of all of Miami's third down conversions. It was so many 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. I mean, so many of those all night. So Ole Miss did pretty good on 1st and 2nd down. It was 3rd down that absolutely killed them. Appreciate all you've done this year, covering everything. Hell of a run. We'll be back. Well, I appreciate you. I've done nothing special at all. I just I like talking sports, and I hope you guys like listening to me talk sports, and I hope you guys like listening to me talk sports with Hey Dad on the radio show, and we're gonna keep doing it. I mean, this does not stop, even though the season ends. The portal is still open. I mean, spring practice is not too terribly far away. Basketball is well, we can talk about baseball when baseball season comes, because basketball is not going to just do much for us in the content game anyway. So I appreciate you. You don't need to appreciate me. Defense. You say Golding completely outcoached by Cristobal. It helps when your team is more. Ole Miss needs to get more physical defensively. They have a really good nucleus coming back. They've got to add some physical. They need to add depth on the defensive line. That's the biggest difference between last year's Ole Miss team and this year's Ole Miss team on defense. Is that they couldn't rotate. I mean, they really couldn't play that many guys tonight. And when you're on the field for 87 snaps and you're not rotating at all on the defensive line, that is that's a recipe for games going down the way they went down last night. They really had a hard time generating any pass rush, I think in part because they were exhausted. It's pick your poison, right? I think simply they don't think that they had enough in the secondary to cover well enough to risk bringing a lot of guys, and they weren't getting home with a lot of guys. And I mean, they tried to blitz. They tried to bring pressure, and they weren't getting home with pressure either. They just they need to keep adding. Great season. Man, this game with no calls. Yeah, up until the end. But the crew let them play a little bit tonight. Crew let them play tonight. Not bad for a rebuild year. Just going to reload. We'll be back. Those defensive portal additions got to hit. Going to be a long offseason. Basketball team is trash and baseball is boring. Boring to you, not to the majority of Ole Miss fans. You say you don't play a three-man rush, prevent defense with only a 3-point lead. Gave the quarterback all day to throw, especially on third down. I don't think they weren't playing prevent. It was just more. I don't know. I don't know, man. That's something that they've done really all year. I don't have a good answer for you. Pete Golding is currently talking. Didn't play our best, didn't coach our best. Can't tell you how proud. Just, basic stuff right now. You're going to get most of that tonight. One hell of a ride. Team left it on the field. They played their tails off tonight, even though they were physically overmatched for sure. Proud of this team. They never quit when they had every reason to do exactly that. What a year. What a group of guys. Run it back next year with the same core. Future is bright. Yes, it is. Trinidad needs his waiver. We will see. We will see. He was awesome late. They had more talent. Wasn't close. Proud of Rebs. Pete Golding has done a great job. No quitting. Played hard. Go Rebs. Bright future. Friendly comments in here tonight. As an LSU fan, I have nothing but respect for Ole Miss and their fan base. What a year. Certainly exceeded expectations. Feel like their story is not done yet. No. Pete refused to play man, costing Ole Miss the game. The moment was absolutely too big for Pete. From preparation to game plan, I don't know if you can say moment was too big for Pete. I think Miami's offensive line was too dominant. I don't think that that's an appropriate criticism, to be honest with you. I don't necessarily agree with that at all. I I don't agree with that at all. It was a semifinal game. They lost by 4 points. Nick Saban lost semifinal games. Was the moment too big for him? Come on now. I don't think that, like, point exactly to what was wrong with their preparation that tells you that the moment was too big for him. It's going to fuel Pete. He's not there just to participate. Truly think he's going to be relentless. People blaming Pete don't really know ball. I can count how many times I saw Princeville run about 10 yards behind Beck. Not his fault specifically, just pointing out it was quite a few reasons. Tackling, firstly. Yeah, tackling early in particular was awful. Miami is no joke. Game could have gotten ugly early. Super proud of the boys for responding and hanging in there. They did. Feel like the lack of holding calls was egregious. They did let them play tonight, though. Play man and let your kids play free, and Ole Miss would have won by 2 scores. See, I hear you, but did you – part of that's coaching too, right? This part is coaching too, but did you see how often Miami receivers, when they did try to run man, were getting open? It's not like they just ran soft zone all night. They tried other things too, and they got cooked on those also. Jonathan, they were put in a horrible spot. You say you're concerned about Golding's, that they didn't even want him as the interim head coach during the run. Never heard of a national coaching search taking 4 hours. They had no choice. If they wanted to, would you have rather here's what would have happened. If Pete Golding does not get the job, you would have had the staff leave for LSU and not come back. If it was just an interim thing, John Summerall was already taking the floor. Like your options at head coach would have been a problem. You would not have the player retention that you've had, and you wouldn't have gotten to this point if they didn't do what they did. And you could call that short-sighted, I guess, and just kind of blow the play off or let Lane coach through it or whatever. But Keith Carter was dealt a hand that not a single person on the planet had ever seen before. And I mean, if you want to argue that they handled that poorly, again, what was the alternative? What I try to do, and I'm not always good at it, but what I try to do is, if I'm going to be critical, I would like to provide like what should have happened instead. If you think that they made a bad choice, what was the alternative choice that they should have made? Tell me that. On the last play, he could have been dragged to the ground. They wouldn't have thrown a flag. Yeah, you're not getting flags in that spot. Maybe you should, but you're not. Heartbroken, but still very proud. Excited for next year. 3 straight years of no SEC teams in the championship game. SEC dominance is over. It feels like the playing field has been more even than ever before. Need about 8 players on D out of the portal. Well, I've got good news for you. Too many missed tackles. Got to just try to make the tackle instead of the big hit. Secondary needs a ton of work. D-line did their job. The defensive line needs more depth. And yes, they are going to they have already aggressively added in the secondary, and you're going to see more. They need more, for sure. That missed field goal was the difference. That certainly did change how the game was handled, for sure. But, I mean, he made from 58, right? Isn't that the official? So it's hard to blame a kicker for missing from – he made from 58 tonight. So he doinked run from 52. It's hard to blame him. It's your confidence level on Trinidad getting his waiver / being back next year, 80%. Trinidad made his miracle touchdown at the end, no PI call, but they blew it on defense and leaving points on the field. If he throws the ball shorter, I think he overthrew it a little bit. He overthrew it a little bit. Just a little bit. If that's like a yard shorter or maybe a little bit more inside where Wright was there as well, that might change what happens there. Because you had Stribling and Wright just guarded by two guys. If that's a little bit more inside and shorter, one of the two maybe has a better shot at it. But anyway, physicality was a problem too. Saying it's Golding's fault is a lazy take. Ole Miss paid the referees off. Yeah, that's what happened tonight for sure. You say we need a defensive-minded head coach. Well, I've got news for you. Trinidad going pro? I mean, he has moved up draft boards, but, I mean, he's saying after the game that he hopes he can do it again, meaning that he wants to stay. So, no, I don't think that's the case right now. Yeah, getting bullied in the first half was a big problem. Playing man got Miami a touchdown. Remember the Daugherty blown coverage? It wasn't Daugherty. It was not him. It was the safety that came down. So it was not Daugherty's fault. But yes, there was a blown coverage there. Layden wouldn't be in this game. He wouldn't have let Lucas get. That would not have gone smoothly at all. Not that they would not be here. It would have gotten worse and gotten worse and gotten worse. Clearly. Thoughts about the last missed PI call? I think ultimately, I'm the type of person that thinks if it's a penalty, it's a penalty. Like in basketball, if it's a foul, it's a foul. I don't care time of game or who the player is. I hate that crap in the NBA. It's like, well, LeBron, you're never going to get that foul call. And LeBron, why not? Is it a foul or not? Same thing here. Is it PI or is it not? I don't care what part of the type, the time of game that it is. Is it pass interference? Then yes. But the location of the football didn't help get that call. I don't think. Defense spent 41 minutes on the field. The fact that game was as close as it was shows how much they refused to give up. No kidding. Lost Jones early in the game. Forgot to mention that, too. Andrew Jones getting that bad ankle injury early is a big problem. I mean, that really hurt this team and their ability to stop the run. Thank you, Brandon. Really appreciate you, man. We're not done, though. We are not done. We will keep going. Now scroll down a little bit. Yeah, I got rid of some of the trolls in the chat. We should be a little bit better now. Would love to have seen them make the national title game. Need dudes up front, and this game looks different for sure. Played their hearts out, came up short. Heck of a run. Lane would have won that game. Yeah. Nah. Sure. Yeah, he wouldn't have been in that game. Couldn't tackle it. Had been bad all year, hence preparation. I mean, okay. Naysayers could suggest Golding and Weiss looked good against teams the prior head coach had already game planned, prepped, and averaged 40 against. Ole Miss hung into a game Miami refused to just take control of. They were in the playoff semifinal and lost by 4. What are you talking about? Why are we being goofy tonight here? They beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and it's like, actually, that wasn't good. That's what we're doing now. Are we really not? Are we really going to be dumb now? Actually, it wasn't good to beat Kirby Smart in the Sugar Bowl. That was actually not impressive because they lost to them earlier in the year. That's what we're talking about here. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's be smarter than this. Lacey getting the tough yards. Would have loved to have seen Diggs. He was great on short routes and finding soft spots. The few carries he got. Yeah, but he's just not the same in pass protection. That I'm with you, though. I think Ole Miss, but they found a lot throwing the football in the second half. I mean, that was how they were able to move the ball, just step back and throw. Miami was not able to get home. The Ole Miss offensive line did a really good job in pass protection tonight. It ultimately didn't matter, but they did a really good job. And so maybe slinging it around was the right thing to do. Oh, man. Trolls. Second mistake Pete Golding did was not letting Miami score instead of wasting the clock. But the problem is it ultimately ended up not working out, but you had still where they should they have let them score? Was it first and goal from the 8? Literally in the last game, they won the last game by not letting them score in that exact same situation. So that kind of feels like a hindsight criticism because, again, Georgia had second and goal from the 2? And a TFL, then an incomplete pass led to the field goal that tied the game. I mean, they were literally in that exact position last week and won by not letting them score. So I think the clock management thing is it's a hindsight criticism and not a foresight criticism because, again, last week they didn't let Georgia score, and that's why they won the game, by not doing that. Missed field goal hurt. Missed tackles on third and long hurt. Extended drives for Miami, absolutely. From a Miami fan, hats off to Ole Miss. Hopefully see you next same time. What an impressive football team Miami is. So physical, just so physical. It was a fun game. It was a really fun game to watch. And you know, what I like about the expanded playoff is in the 14 playoff that guys like Barrett Sallee want us to go back to, possibly the best team in the country would not have gotten in. And Miami has they have earned this bid to the national championship. A committee didn't hand it to them, right? Like the BCS or our computer, like in the BCS era, didn't hand it to them. Miami lined up and they went to Texas A&M and held them to 3 freaking points, then beat Ohio State, then beat the last SEC team standing in that offense and kept that offense in check for a while. Miami earned this bid for sure. Let's see. Oh, man, we just got to – boy, the LSU discourse is just pretending like they don't understand things, thus making it impossible. I've seen that meme everywhere. It's a perfect explanation considering what the chat has become already. The way the game was headed, both defenses were gassed, and yet I believe if Ole Miss had one more minute, they win. I think so too. But unfortunately, just did not work out that way. The fact that the game was as close as it was and that it came down to the final play shows how much they battled and refused to give up. That game was on pace to be really bad for a while. It really was. It really, really was. Quick passing game helped stop the pass rush. Good game plan by Charlie. But it was more than that. Because especially in the second half, they did a lot more long developing pass plays. And they just protected well. They really protected well. That offensive line's pretty darn good, man. I don't think it happened tonight. So Diego Pounds went 15 games. Correct me if I'm wrong. Diego Pounds went 15 games without giving up a sack. this season. It's pretty crazy. So they were really good up front. He's bad-mouthing Pete, and the guys are LSU fans. Their IQ is single digits, or they went, nah. Yeah, 15. So he went 15 games without a sack this year. He's been great. And you return the interior three, still fighting for that next tackle, but you have a returning core that's really impressive. If Trinidad gets his waiver, even if he doesn't, I think that's going to go to court. And I think it'll solve itself. Tom Mars mentioned that they're going to take it to court in Mississippi. I have a feeling a Mississippi judge is going to rule in favor of Ole Miss and against the NCAA. That's just me. Maybe I'm naive, but that's what I think is going to happen. So you return quarterback, you return running back. Your tight end room really solid. Wright's gone, and he's going to be a stud in the NFL, but Has and Odom are back. They haven't announced it. I think Caden Lee is returning. I think that's done. I could be wrong. Deuce Alexander back. That's a big deal. Defensively, Eccles, Uman Mielen both back. Jam Brown back. They're portaling on the defensive line already. TJ Dottery back. You've got pieces that you want anyway returning in the secondary. With Braxton, for example, he's back. Kite is back. They've added 2 really quality linebackers via transfer portal. There's a really good nucleus to end up right here. So losing the time of possession in the first half really hurt. Yes, it did. The Keaton Thomas addition will be incredible. He'll be next year's Pooh Paul. Him being a 3-star portal, like I understand a 3-star recruit, but him being a 3-star portal player is just what? It makes no sense. When you watch him, it's like that guy's a 3-star, but DJ Lagway's the number 15 player in the transfer portal. What are we talking about here? Makes no sense at all. But he's got everything. He's got good enough size. But he's also fast and athletic. I thought Daughtery played well tonight. He's got a really what people don't understand, and maybe not everybody understands, but what people don't understand about Daughtery is he plays every game or every snap of the game, basically, and he is the guy that's directing traffic before every snap. Watch him communicate. I mean, he is so valuable to that defense, and him coming back will be a very significant thing for next year. So, as a Miami Hurricanes fan, you guys played your heart out, you say. I mean, there will be so much respect given to Miami. And there was a lot of that around here. I don't remember. So you're a Miami fan in the comments. I do daily radio here in Mississippi statewide. And I don't remember a single Ole Miss fan that texted into the show this week anything other than, yeah, like Miami's good. Like that's a good football team. There was a lot of respect going into this game. There wasn't anything other than that. And obviously now after the game, it's the same. It's just, man, how physical and tough they were. And Beck made plays. And I mean, them and Indiana in the national championship would be one fascinating football game. Just 2 teams that are just going to want to try to kill each other. That'll be a fun one to watch. Do I still think Golding is a good choice for head coach? I do. I do. He was also the only choice that they could have made to make what happened happen. I think he's got an incredibly high ceiling. How could you not? How could you not watch him navigate what he has navigated and think that he can't handle a regular offseason and a regular everything? I don't know how you can watch that and think, nah, he's not built for it. I don't understand. I truly don't. There is no reason to doubt his upside. Now, that doesn't mean it's not without the possibility of failure. Every coach can fail. Good coaches fail at new jobs. But I don't know how any human can watch what they went through and how he navigated it and how the team has responded by wanting to stay and play for him and think that, nah, he's not built for it. He's going to fail. That doesn't track to me. So it just doesn't track for me. Hopefully get some additions to the secondary in the portal. Feel like it let them down more than any position group throughout the season. So I did see, I don't know where this is in terms of like whether or not it's actually happening. But I do know that Ole Miss was in on Jonel Aguero. Matt Zenas reported that yesterday, actually. He's been the starting strong safety for Georgia for a couple of years now. A guy like him is the kind of guy that they need. A guy like him, probably the difference tonight, frankly. So they're on him. They're working on him. They returned so much. There's a lot to like about what this team will be going into 2025. Or excuse me, we are past 2025, going into 2026. There's a lot to like about what they return and what they are and things of that nature. So there you go. All right, I'm going to hang it up. It is late. I'm going to go to bed. We've got an early wake-up call to get to school tomorrow. So, and also, by the way, guys, bad weather coming through the state tomorrow. I think they have actually canceled all of the extracurricular activities in my son's county district because apparently we're going to get some pretty nasty stuff tomorrow. So y'all be safe, be careful. Apparently some of it's going to be going on during the morning commute as well, at least if these hours are telling the truth. So y'all be safe out there tomorrow. It's actually going to be storming just all day, as it turns out. So be safe out there. And we're not done yet. And I'll see you guys on Sunday. The pretty awesome season has come to an end, but again, it's been fun to cover. I know you guys have had fun watching it, and we'll keep talking about it, and we'll keep talking about this program because they're gonna keep adding, they're gonna keep going, and we'll do that starting tomorrow on the radio, and then on Sunday right here at 9. See you guys then. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. It's a heck of a year. I'll see you Sunday.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Have equipment to sell? Mid-Delta Auction Company is now accepting early consignments for the January 30th public auction in Greenwood. Get in early for maximum exposure and nationwide marketing. Visit mdauction.com or call 662-299-2414.